Hi everyone, it's me, C Lefty Run. So I have my week 7 Boston Marathon training recap for you. Before I get started with that, I just want to follow up with you on a couple things. So number one, my hip, as you know, is feeling great. And when I talked about my hip in that video, I had a hip doctor that I really liked. And I was like, this is the guy. Like, if I need surgery, this is the guy to do it. And then I was told he was in network. Like I looked at the app and the app said he was in network. And his office said he was in network, which is why I went to go see him, only to find out after the fact that he really wasn't in network. So then I got hit with a bill that was like $650. So of course I appealed the bill. This is by Blue Cross Blue Shield. I will throw them under the bus all day long. Anthem Blue Cross, California. And so of course I appeal it, in which I then lose because they're like, well, you should have checked if he was in network. I was like, I did check. I have pictures of the app right here where I checked. So I don't know how that's not checking. So I was fully prepared to take them to small claims court. I was like, I have time. I'll take you to small claims court. It's fine. And it wasn't like $650 is a lot. It was the principle of it. I'm like, you're taking advantage of people like this all day long, and I'm going to fight you back on it. So good news is I don't have to go through the process because guess what? He's now suddenly back in network. So thank gosh, because if there is something wrong with my hip within this year, I can go to him now and not have to worry about getting stuck with a huge bill. This is why I hate PPO, because you don't know how much you're going to pay. You think you're going to pay one thing and then you get the bill and it's like, oh, well, at the time he went on a network for that 5 minutes that you went to go see him and you should have called 50 times instead of twice. Ridiculous. So that was a little win this week that I was really happy because I spent hours of my life trying to fight that. That's number one. Plan Germany for Berlin. That's number 2. Running the Berlin Marathon. I'm not even going to think about training for that until I'm done with Boston, but I've got flights booked. I got Airbnb for Berlin, and then we're going to go to Munich afterwards for like a real Oktoberfest. So I'm really excited about that. So I booked Munich as well. So we're going to be there for about 10 days. So if you're going to Germany too, if you're going to be at Oktoberfest, let me know. That would be fun. And then finally, I was thinking about it this week, of the many things I think about when I'm on all these runs. I have a pretty good history with repeated marathons. And so I don't really repeat marathons very often. Boston will be one I repeat unless I really like it. Well, you know what? I don't like the Long Beach Marathon. I did repeat it twice just because my kids were small. I didn't want to travel. It's my local race. So the first time I ran Long Beach in 2013, I think, I ran it in 4 hours and 45 minutes. I was trying to break 4 hours, but I had a terrible bout of insomnia leading into it. My kids were really little. My youngest was 1. My oldest was 3. My husband was working weekend graveyard, and I was working full time and getting my master's. So I don't know what made me think like, oh, let's run a marathon too. Like, yeah, and I had insomnia because I was so stressed. So I finished that in 4:45. I was so like mortified. Then not mortified. That's the wrong word. I was disappointed in myself. But looking back, I was like, it's impressive you ran in 4:45 considering what was on your plate. If I could tell myself then what I know now, I would have been like, I just want to pat those young mothers with young children on their back and be like, you're out here. That in itself is a win. Doesn't matter the time. You're just doing something for yourself. Enjoy it. And then when I ran it again in 2014, I ran it in 4:09 and some change. So like I took my time down by a ton, and I really didn't change my training at all. I just think my husband's schedule had changed. I was done getting the master's. My kids were a wee bit older. So yeah, and I just remember really enjoying that cycle, like having fun with it. Revel Big Bear ran it in 2021 in 3 hours and 38 minutes. Went back in 2022 ran it in 3 hours and 27 minutes. So that was a huge improvement as well. It still stands as my PR. And then, so I'm hopeful for Boston being my second time at it, because I know it, know what to expect, kind of, can know how to approach it a little differently. So I wanted to share that. What's also interesting to me is something I also noted this week is like how we feel when we run. Like, you know, those days when you're running and you look down at your watch and running feels easy, and you look down at your watch and you're like, wow, like it's just flowing, right? And you're like, oh my gosh, I'm going at like 8:10 pace. I thought I was going at like a 9 pace. And those are like rare, right? I don't know, it's rare for me for it to feel easier, uh, for my pace to be um faster than I think it is. And I feel like I have feelings around that. So whenever I run, if I don't feel that way, like if marathon pace doesn't feel easy to me, like it has maybe 1 or 2 times in my life, I get discouraged. I think, oh, it's not your day. Oh, this feels harder than it should. And that's not necessarily true. I think sometimes we get those moments where paces feel easy and it's faster than what we think, but I think those are few and far between. I think you just have to expect it. I'm talking to myself, not you, me. I just have to expect it to feel kind of hard. Like that's normal. And you're going to work through the hard. Just because it doesn't feel easy doesn't mean it's not right. So that was something I kept telling myself. Like just because it's easy doesn't mean it's not right. Just because it doesn't feel easy doesn't mean it's not your day. Maybe the next mile will feel easy. It's like run the mile you're in, right? Which really doesn't resonate with me, but I know it resonates with a lot of people. All right, so let's get into the week. Sunday, I did an easy 6, 9:36 pace. My heart rate was a 136. Now I don't look at my watch on these runs. I base them totally on feel. So I'm pretty happy that I'm in the mid-9 range. My heart rate's like in the 130 range for that. Considering I had a long run on Saturday. Monday was raining here, also President's Day. And I was moving my hill repeats to Monday because I was off. So if I can avoid doing a hard workout after work, I will. But with the rain, I was like, so I had some friends that were running Signal Hill, rain or shine. They invited me to run with them, and I did it. I was like, forget it. I'm not going to do my 2-minute up and down hill repeats in the rain by myself. I would much rather run Signal Hill with a group. And so we all battled the rain together, and it was much more fun that way. And I ran 6.5 miles. My average pace was a 9:04. My heart rate was 138, and I got 896 feet of gain. So if Boston, it's a net drop of 700 feet. So if this run doesn't cut the mustard instead of the 2 minutes up and down, I don't know what will. For me, I'm like, it's fine. The integrity is still there. I did some hills. Wasn't to the T, oh well, but it was more fun and I enjoyed it. So Tuesday, I should have done the hill repeats on Tuesday, but I moved it to Monday. So Tuesday was going to be an easy 6, but my run club does track on Tuesday nights, and I didn't feel overly taxed, right? So I was like, I can do the workout with them. So the workout was the Kelvin Kiptum workout, very creative. We had to do 5 times, 4 minutes and 35 seconds, because that's how long it took Kiptum to run the mile in Chicago. So we were trying to see how far we could run in 4 minutes and 35 seconds, and we had 5 shots at it. And then there was like a walking recovery between each one. So I did my 2-mile warm up, and then I did the workout with them. For some reason, when I was doing it, I thought it was 4 times 4:35, but it was 5, so I didn't do the last one. And instead of a walking recovery between each, I did a running recovery. I also didn't push it too hard because I did the hills on Monday, and it was supposed to be an easy run anyway. So I did 7:12, 7:27, 7:29, 7:11. My heart rate was a 137. So that's good. Like those are pretty good paces. And considering I did a jog recovery between each, to keep my heart rate that low was good. I think my average pace for the whole 6.5 miles is like an 8:20. So pretty good. Wednesday I was off. Thursday I did 12.2. This is my hardest one. I think Thursday, and then pretty soon Tuesdays are gonna be like hard. But at least I only have to deal with it for a couple weeks. I had a 2-mile warm up. And then I had 2 by 4 miles with an easy mile in between. So I ran 4 miles, easy mile, ran 4 more miles. My pace range for each 4 miles was supposed to be an 8:06 to an 8:16. I was much faster than the range, but I was feeling pretty good. So I just kind of went with it. In fact, this was the best I had felt on a Thursday run. So my heart rate was a 147. My average pace overall was an 8:19 for the whole 12.2 miles. And I ran for the first 4 segment, a 7:48, 7:44, 7:53, 7:56. The mile in between was an 8:57. And then I did a 7:58, 7:49, 8:08, 7:44. My average pace for those 4 was a 7:55. I don't know where that 8:08 came from. It's kind of weird. It's like so not in line. I didn't like stop and walk or anything. Anyway, so for the first 4, the average was 7:50. For the second 4, 7:55. So it was good. I was a little sore after that. So in the morning, I woke up Friday, my legs were a little rickety, but had to give them a pep talk. I was like, it's gonna be okay. You're gonna feel so much better after we go on this 6-mile run. I don't want to do it either, but I guess it's important that we do. So let's just get out and get it done. So we did 6 easy at 9:20 pace. My average heart rate was 134. Saturday, which I've always traditionally done my long runs solo. This week I met with my group of friends again, had a great time. They cracked me up the whole way. And I ran 15 with them. We all had different mileage. One was doing 21, another one was doing 19.99. Another one was doing 16. I was doing 15. And then for me, I won't go a step over 15. Well, I did go a step over 15. But some of them are like, okay, I'll just do what you're doing, For me, I'm like, nope, I'm sticking to my 15 because it was pretty, I don't want to overdo it, as you know. So my average pace was an 8:49. And the last 6, I was in the 8:30 to 8:40 range, with my last mile being the fastest. We got about 500 feet of gain on this run. So that was that. 52.5 miles, 52 and a half miles for week 7. I ran today. Like yesterday on the run, I was like feeling it at the end. I was like, oh, kind of just wanted it to be over. And then after I was done on Saturday, I was pretty tired for the rest of the day. And so, so I'm starting to feel it. That cumulative fatigue is definitely starting to kick in. But hopefully I should just push through the last 6 weeks, right? I think the marathon is actually week 15. So anyway, if I can just push through the last 6 weeks, be in a good place. Hope your running is going well. And I look forward to seeing you in week 8, the end of week 8. Bye.